Hi, this is Ray Peck. I'm just going to give you another one of my insights into a forthcoming fight um, that's been planned but not actually scheduled yet. So I hope you're going to enjoy this video. If you do enjoy it, please give it the thumbs up, give it a like, and also share it. And please feel free to comment afterwards. It looks like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is a fight that's going to be on, according to the press, according to their own statements, according to Frank Warren and to Tyson Fury himself and to Deontay Wilder. So that looks like it's a done deal. From what I can gather at the moment, today being the 20th of August, no firm date has been set for the fight, but I believe terms have been agreed. So Fury versus Wilder, I've got quite a lot of thought on this fight. Not least, should this fight actually be happening right now? And I'll come back to that in a second. Just to have a look at the two. It makes for a great TV. I've got to say, it makes for great for fight fans when you look at these two. You got two of the possibly the most colourful characters in heavyweight boxing and boxing per se, coming face to face. British fight fans will be fully aware of the story of Tyson Fury, the rise and fall and rise, it appears, of the Gypsy King himself. He's no stranger to controversy himself. We know he's had his problems with depression. He's had his problems with drugs. He was declared medically unfit after failing a cocaine test after he had fought Vladimir Klitschko. So he's very volatile, or he used to be very volatile, put it that way. When you look at his press conferences, his antics in and out of the ring, he's very unpredictable. Then you've got Wilder, hugely colourful fella, hugely confident, equally controversial, I would say, in his self-belief, in his cockiness, and I don't mean that in a nasty way, but he's got this winning mentality. He's got this arrogance about him, which I believe does him a lot of good. So let's just compare the two, their stats for a second. Now, one thing I can't compare is their weight, because that's going to change obviously by the time, if and when the fight does actually happen. But at the moment, so you've got Tyson Fury, who's had 27 fights, and Deontay Wilder's had 40 fights. So in terms of actual bouts, he's a lot more experienced than Fury. In terms of rounds, it's the other way around. Fury's fought 160 rounds. Deontay Wilder's 123 rounds. But there's a reason for that, which of course is Deontay's explosive fists. He's stopped 18 of his 37 knockouts have been in the first round. So that gives you an idea of the power that he carries. So talking of knockouts, 19 knockouts for Tyson Fury, 39 knockouts for Deontay Wilder. That's an amazing stat. That's 39 out of 40 fights. That's 98% of Deontay Wilder's fights have ended in a knockout. 19 out of 27 Tyson Fury, which is 70%, have ended in a knockout. Both very impressive. You've got to say. 0-0, 0-0 on draws and losses for both of them. In terms of their physical build, height, Fury 6'9". Jesus Christ, what a height! 6'9". Deontay Wilder 6'7", and Fury's reach is 85 inches, Wilder's reach is 83. So there's very little between them in that respect. I suspect when the fight comes, Fury will be considerably heavier than Wilder. When I look at Wilder, he's I mean, he's amazingly fast, but the reason I think he's so fast is he doesn't carry any fat, he doesn't carry any bulk on him as such. He's not like Anthony Joshua, for example, who carries a lot of heavy muscle. He's muscular, but he's what I would call wiry. And he carries a lot of power in a smaller frame. But there we go. Both unbeaten, no draws, no losses. Someone's O has got to go, as they say. Just a brief synopsis of the history of both. So Tyson Fury, former IBF, IBO, WBO, WBA Super World Heavyweight Champion, after he beat the one and only Dr. Stillhammer, Vladimir Klitschko, in Klitschko's backyard, if you like, in Dusseldorf. It was a unanimous decision. It went the full 12 rounds. That fight, I remember very, very clearly. Fury fought in a way that I'd never seen any boxer fight before. It was almost, dare I say it, it was almost as if he was on something. He was twitchy. You didn't know when he was going to throw a punch. You didn't know where the punch was going to come from. Vladimir Klitschko looked completely out of sorts and didn't know how to deal with him, and subsequently, hardly landed a punch throughout the 12 rounds. And Fury got the unanimous decision. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that at all. If that's what it takes to win a fight, that's what you do. I suspect that will be a different story against Wilder. Wilder is a completely different type of fighter. We'll see. Fury then was supposed to have had a rematch. That was cancelled because he sprained his ankle. He was then charged with having a prohibited substance after a year, I think it was a urine test. It found to have had a prohibited substance, which I believe went back to 2016 or something like that. It was some time ago. The second rematch, or the second scheduled rematch, was also cancelled because he was declared. It was postponed, should I say, because he was declared medically unfit, and he tested positive for cocaine. And at that point, he made quite an emotional statement, citing depression, etc., etc. And then on the 12th of October 2016, he vacated all of his titles, and his license was suspended. Since then, he seems to have got on a bit of a bender. He ballooned in weight. He openly admits himself that he got involved in heavy drinking, partying, let himself go physically and mentally. But now he's back. He seems to have got his life back together. I just saw his recent press conference. He looked fit. He looked sharp. He fought Saturday night. He won on points after 12 very boring rounds, I have to say, but very clear, decisive win for Tyson Fury. So, and that sets him up. That was his second comeback fight after re-announcing himself. He did say he was scheduled to have 4, but he said at the press conference that he doesn't need 4. He's had 2 12-rounders. He doesn't need 4. And then we look at Deontay Wilder. He's the current WBC heavyweight champion of the world. I should say, by the way, that Tyson Fury is what they call the lineal world champion. For those of you that don't know what lineal world champion is, it's somebody who is the man who beat the man. So because he beat Vladimir Klitschko, he's the lineal world champion. Until whoever beats Tyson Fury will be the lineal world champion, if that makes sense. So Deontay Wilder, current WBC heavyweight champion, he beat Bermain Stiverek, I believe it's pronounced, in January 2015. That was over 12 rounds. He had a rematch almost 3 years later, in which he knocked him out in round 1 in a pretty spectacular KO. As I said, 18 of his 37 knockouts have come in the first round, so that's pretty good going. Since he won that title, he's defended his title 7 times. His last fight was against Louis Ortiz, who came into that fight, very respected fighter, a genuine contender for the heavyweight title. His record was 28-0, and it was a great fight, I have to say. Ortiz put Wilder in trouble, particularly in I think it was the 8th round, 7th round, round 7, and into round 8. Wilder looked like he could possibly go, looked like he could be out, but he regrouped himself, regrouped his brain, and in round 10, the referee stopped the fight. Ortiz was in no fit state to continue. You look at Deontay Wilder, the way he fights, he throws punches wildly. I mean that wildly. He throws them wide from awkward angles. They come at you. You think he's going to throw one punch and he's suddenly changing for a bomb, throw another. It reminds me a little bit of Prince Nassim Hamed. If anybody remembers Nassim Hamed, he used to throw punches in a similar way, from almost off balance when he threw them. But when they land, if he hits you, you're going to go. It's as simple as that. He's very, very cocky. He's full of self-belief. He believes he is the genuine heavyweight champion of the world. A lot of people want to see the fight between him and Anthony Joshua. Whether that's actually ever going to happen, I'm not too sure, because Joshua appears to be either unwilling to come to America or feels it's not necessary to come to America, because Joshua holds, all the other belts. And if Deontay Wilder desperately wants them, he should perhaps come to London. And, who am I to argue with that? But I have an issue with this fight. It's the point I touched on at the very beginning. No doubt about it, Fury's credentials put him in line for a shot at the title at some point. The fact that he's a lineal world champion, the fact that he's, he beat Vladimir Klitschko, but he's been out of the game for a couple of years, or a year and a half, whatever it was, and he's come back. He's had 2 fights, and he's stepping into a world title fight. Now, I'm sorry, I don't think he's earned the right to have that fight. Of course, the promoters want that fight. Of course, the networks want that fight, because it's big, big money on pay-per-view. It's going to be huge. It's in Las Vegas. It's going to be a real event. But there are other people that I feel have got the right to fight Wilder and challenge Wilder before Tyson Fury. Dillian Whyte being one of them, who, he's gone about his work the hard way. He beats who's in front of him. What more does Dillian Whyte need to do to secure a shot at a world title? And I actually believe he would be a better opponent for Deontay Wilder. I believe he carries more power and more aggression in him. And I think it will be a slugfest. And I honestly believe that Whyte would beat Wilder. But hey, that's not going to happen. I think Fury should be having more fights. The fact that he's had 2 fights, the fact that he won, over 12 rounds on Saturday night, he should be. Well, maybe he should be fighting Dillian Whyte, and let the winner of those 2 step up to Wilder. There's another fella in the background coming through the ranks called Daniel Dubois, who is fantastic. He's got a fantastic record. He's doing it the hard way. Tyson Fury has almost announced himself back into the boxing arena and said, "Here I am. I'm back. I'm having a world title shot." It shouldn't work like that. It frustrates me that it does. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing any of us can do about it. But that's the fact. But anyway, if this fight happens, early prediction for you. I believe that if and when this fight happens in Vegas against a very hungry, very fast, very confident Deontay Wilder, I believe Wilder would stop Fury in round 6. Hope you like this video. Please feel free to comment, good or bad, I don't mind. Give me your views. I'll be really interested to know what you think. Please give me the thumbs up. Please like it. Please share. And I look forward to the next one. Thank you.